welcome everyone to AMA 17. We'll go ahead and jump into some marketplace updates from Chuba.
Hey, hope everyone's doing great. First, I can just get started on some of the few things that we finished up in Sprint 7. So the main success of Sprint 7 is that we successfully onboarded the DevOps guy, Stan, and he's been crushing it working on the entire infrastructure migration. Um, and as Zach will tell you about in a little bit, the polymorph burn to mint, had just come out and a handful of changes had been made there as well. But the remaining things in Sprint are still being actively worked on in Sprint 8, so I can kind of run you guys down what those are. So some of the big points are the scalability and performance improvements to the marketplace. So that includes a reconfiguration of the microservices to support the new database. There's final testing going on for that specifically as the infrastructure gets finished being put together. Additionally, the filtering by traits and the microservice support surrounding that is being finalized as well. The ERC 1155 support is essentially done with the integration and it's moving into the testing phase. So that's being actively worked on this sprint as well. There have been some improvements to the user profile on my NFT pages. There's a good bit of polishing that was done there. It kind of like ties it together, and I think it looks really good. So that's going to be tested and released very soon, as well as a introduction of the Next.js framework into the auctions. This is going to allow us to have the great SEO and social media sharing, not just on the marketplace, but on the auctions pages as well once we release those. Additionally, we began support for the bundles on the front end side of things. So we've been having conversations on exactly how that works and what kind of bundles will show up where. There's a lot of thought that gets put into this conversation, specifically surrounding ensuring that users are only exposed to verified NFTs that they are interested in. Because we don't want anybody getting scammed or anything like that. And OpenSea had and other marketplaces as well had a lot of issues with the bundles earlier. So a lot of thought is being put into there to kind of make that as secure and safe as possible, while still giving everyone the bundle functionality that helps trade NFTs within a little bit more size at once. Let's see. Yes. So we're resuming work on automated testing as well. This is going to make it really nice to be able to test features as they're being as we're releasing features. It's really useful to test that everything works that's supposed to keep working. We call that regression testing, and adding some automation to this is going to make the devs' lives and everybody's lives a lot easier, and will hopefully let us ship features a little bit faster as well. There's been some work on the back end for the English and Dutch auctions as well. And as those endpoints are rolling out, those are being integrated into the front end. So that's coming along very nicely. And with the tiered auction smart contracts, because of the royalty setup in the marketplace, we've been making some final changes there to have the royalty splits work exactly the same way in the auctions as in the marketplace. So we're going to have like one cohesive royalty style, so to speak, or the way the royalties work will be cohesive across the platform. Doesn't matter whether you're using the marketplace or the auctions or any other service. So that's kind of a good rundown on Sprint 8 and all the things we're actively working on. And I hope you guys are all excited as I am. So I can pass it over to Transmental to give some updates on the polymorphs.
What's up, friends? How's everybody doing? Oh, damn. I miss being in the other voice chat room. Anyways, polymorphs are vibing. We got that 72-hour competition ending conveniently like right now. So I've been counting up some of these quote tweets and we're gonna give away some polymorphs. We're still Burnaman is still live. I got a couple questions about whether or not it was getting turned off. So it's definitely staying on, and definitely we still have polymorphic faces coming in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I think more like 2 weeks. We'll have the polymorphic faces out to be claimed for anybody that participated in the burn event. We got a bunch of stuff working on for polymorphs and a long list of stuff to check off. So I'm excited to continue progressing there. And oh yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, but Deviants entered the chat on Twitter. So we're out here. And then I guess as far as let's see. I can say some things about the party. It was fun. I don't know. I was vibing. So Chuba was there with me. I felt like it was a good time. Maybe he can say some things about it too. But the highlight for me was definitely like making everybody watch cartoons in the middle of like a EDM festival. So that was fun.
Yeah, I had a great time. There was, you know, a lot of different communities there having a good time, all dancing and hanging out. I think one of the really cool things for me was like there was these giant panels with like polymorph art that was kind of like animated and really cool. I'm sure it's some stuff you've seen on Twitter already. But it was really just like cool being in that environment where, you know, we're at like this polymorph party and there's all this like great, beautiful polymorph like art and animation around you as you're dancing and having fun with everybody. So I personally had a great time.
Yeah, so the videos that Chuba was talking about are the ones that are on polymorph.universe, where you go and burn. So the polymorph, those videos up there were like being played all night above the stage and stuff. So I asked Monster Cat about like a ETA on the recap video. I haven't gotten a response yet, but as soon as I get that recap video, I'll make sure that everybody has a link to it and can watch kind of what we put together, because I do think that we had some good like brand presence there. So it was a success in my eyes, and we accommodated a lot of the right people, and you know, so I feel like that goes a long way, especially like during this week in New York, because it's been crazy. It's been like really, really well put together parties. So anybody that thinks NFTs are dead isn't in New York right now, because it's going up. Yeah, I don't have much else about.
That's actually amazing. I mean, what all are you seeing there?
I
Like,
mean,
I saw
I've been
someone
trying to
saying
go to
that like
everything.
volume was down this week, and I'm like, well, of course, because like there's a lot of people in New York that are working and not in
Right.
front of their computers.
I went to a mix of like different community events. I even like bought an NFT yesterday just to make sure I could get into this one thing for Blau. And like it's just it's a good vibe, and you can, a lot of these parties are booking like small venues, right? And they had general admission because nobody was like sure if they were going to fill the house or not. But the event that I'm going to tonight, like just put a like post out, and they're like, yo, the last 2 nights were way too packed, like we're only doing holders. So like I think that NFTs are very much alive and well, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the market of NFTs, you can kind of see some of the. I mean, like CryptoPunks were almost 45 ETH. I think some punks were selling for like 45 ETH last week, and now they're back up to almost 70. You see the Doodles came out with a huge announcement saying, you know, they're releasing Doodles 2, and like those little duplicator things that were 1 ETH are now 4, and Doodles were about 80 last week, and now they're almost 15. So like a lot of big news comes out at NFT NYC, and I think a lot of these events, I mean, like shout out to the Doodles. I saw a lot of pictures, and it looked like their event was a hit. It just looks like some of these events are being executed really well and just aligned up with news. But I think the Doodles kind of do that with all their news. I mean, they did that at South by Southwest, but I mean, anyone that's saying NFTs are down or dead right now, they're just not paying attention to the prices. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of sales this week that on collections that I've been personally looking at.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say one thing real quick. Also, I went to the Fluff party, and I think the next time that we do a big universe party, I think we, you know, obviously we don't copy them directly, but like their vibe was super on point, and it was
You
more
should
of like,
do it with them. Like,
yeah,
we
we
should
should.
throw a party with them. I mean, like they would be down to, and like ultimately, yeah. I mean, I I actually didn't go, but I feel like I would have been more likely to go if like I felt like I could have like I looked at those pictures and it seemed like it was an easier place to like talk to people and catch up. Which I mean, I'm not saying that like the Monster Cat parties are dope. I mean, I had a blast at the last one, but I would agree that I looked at what Fluff was doing, and I mean, we could have a party with Fluff. Like nobody's saying that we can't.
Right. Yeah, we should definitely do that because it's definitely just a better place to like the Monster Cat party that we sponsored was sick and everybody had a great time that I talked to. But as for me personally, it was just very very loud, you know, and some people like I enjoyed the like party vibes, but I also feel like the more hangout like bar style events are a better place to like network and stuff. So definitely noted, and we should.
I agree with that. I mean, because I've been to these
I mean, my
these
bad.
events are best to do during like bear markets, even though they're more expensive. Which I didn't go to this one, but like I've met like lifelong business contacts at these types of like I mean never like have I met someone at a conference. Like I always meet them at the parties after the conference. And yeah, ultimately like I've been to crazy ass events that like Coinbase put on in New York, like Consensus New York, and from pretty much 2016 to 2020. Well, no, 2020 everything was canceled because of COVID. So 2016 to 2019. And yeah, I met way more people at the where you could actually hear people talk. It's like I think that that's like extremely underrated. Where like if you're a huge ass project, then yeah, throw a banger. Nobody can hear anything, but they remember who put on that amazing party. So like for Coinbase, it makes sense to have a banger. But for us, we probably would be better bar types. People can network.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless, the polymorphs were vibing. It was cool to see all the polymorphs just hanging out. We had a bunch of like NFT frames displaying polymorphs and stuff too all around, so it was a good time. And lobsters. I threw some lobsters on the screens as well. So hopefully all that made the recap video and we have some dope to look back at and, you know, point to going forward.
And shout out to Tam for making the NFT Now top 100 list.
Nice.
There's actually a lot of friends on here. So, but especially shout out to Tim. Okay, I think we can hop into the AMA section. Oh, nice. Jake's got a question on when Polymorph League DAO Top Golf event. He's trying to throw in the he wants to have a event too, not just with Fluffs, but with League DAO.
Yeah, Top Golf would be sick. We should definitely do that.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. Flammel is asking about would you guys be open to starting a security channel that the community can contribute to? I have been looking for a way to contribute and thought this might be a good idea. I got hacked and have learned a lot about being more secure. Just a thought, still trying to find a way to contribute. I think this is a good idea. We do sort of have a channel. Usually Algae will keep us up to date on the latest hacks and things that are getting people's wallets drained. And if you pay attention to our announcements threads, usually Zach and Algae will continuously post about like current ways that people are getting rugged. I don't see any right at the moment, like while I'm scrolling up, but I'm pretty sure they post that in the announcements channel. I mean, Zach and Algae can correct me, but
No, I mean, I
usually-
think I think it probably Rain can help us set up. I think it's a good idea. We should have a thread where like community members can come in and like drop security updates, because I feel like it's best to just have as many ears to the floor as possible in
I
this
agree.
crazy like world we're in. So I mean, I think that's a great idea. So Rain, can you let's brainstorm after and get Flamel set up in some channel.
Yeah, we could even like put together like a security team role as well. Because I'm even like trying to look back and find some of those updates that Algie and Zach have dropped, and like I don't even see them. So it would be good if they're in like a consolidated
sure.
place.
Yeah, we kind of just like throw them up as they come, and like, but Algie and I are only, me, Algie, and Rain are only like three sets of ears. So it would be nice to have a spot where anybody can kind of just like drop in some security tips and stuff.
Yeah, it's a super good idea. Keep everyone looking out for each other. Okay.
I actually have had some issues buying stuff on Gem, but a lot of the times I feel like it's when I'm like mixing the marketplace contracts that it's buying from. So I don't know. Usually when I just like go for one type of listing, it works.
You're responding to stuff and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really use Gem. So I mean, I can't really answer that, but it's interesting what he's saying about NFTX. We'll have to look into that. Hey Ryan, maybe you can answer this question from OX32 Delta.
Yeah.
About the Cloudflare outages.
Yeah, so we do route through Cloudflare on the domain side, though I don't know when this last Cloudflare outage was, but I don't think that had affected us as far as I know, and I didn't get any reports about that causing any problems. It is possible though that if there was an intermittent outage that, the site may have been down for a minute or two.
Okay, nice.
Oh, and I do know how to answer stuff and things question. I think you can turn off NFTX when you're sweeping on Gem. You could just click that button there. But when you are buying on NFTX, the price will like increase with each NFT you add in there, because you're basically buying from a liquidity pool, so it's subject to that same type of like slippage and impermanent loss. So you can just toggle that off if you want to get rid of that. What else we got?
We got Jake's question about integrating the tokens from the recent vote. My understanding was we were trying to squeeze that into one of these recent sprints. Chuba can probably add to that.
The plan is to get that in with the backend migration. So once the backend is fully live in this post migration state, then we'll have that in. So it's still a little bit difficult to give an ETA, as we're not sure exactly how long the testing there will take. We are approaching testing, but I don't want to give a date and then have to miss that. So that's about the best I can do for now on that one.
This next question is probably best for Tyler to answer. It mentions that there's about 2 years of grind ahead of us, possibly more. Devs cost a lot. Are we cutting down on costs? And is the treasury managed to plan? Is there a treasury management planned in? I mean, like, we could just let Tyler answer this. He's kind of mentioned this on the last AMAs. Him and Troy go through rigorous budgets every week and month to make sure that there's no overspending.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, I think it's hard to just say outright that, like, okay, so like I don't know what the markets are going to like turn out like. I mean, realistically, if we have 2 years of runway and just like a complete bear market, it makes it harder because people like, I mean, there's a reason when like bear markets get like completely brutal is because like even the people who were like extremely excited about it, about anything like with crypto will capitulate. So like, I don't want to just like sit there and say like, yes, for sure, we have like 2 years of runway, but like, this isn't the first time that any of us have dealt with a bear market. And like honestly, like sometimes I get questions where it's like I really just don't know what to tell you. Like if anybody in the world told you that they knew like USDC could crash, right? Like some of what our actual treasuries in could have issues. Like Universe could like the XYZ token, which some of the treasuries in could skyrocket tomorrow or just completely crash. Like it's always very difficult to like predict these things. And so when you're in crypto, like I like to have as much in stables as possible, like not yielding because like, yeah, you can put a treasury management in place, but like a lot of projects, treasury management was giving it to Three Arrows Capital or giving it to putting it on Terra, right? And like, so there's projects that are just dead men walking and like zombie projects because of that. So where on the flip side, like if you move it all into USDC like we did, I mean, we were talking about that ETH was at $1,500. Like we didn't sell it till it hit 1,100. But then you have projects like Gnosis that never sold any of their ETH, and people talk about their $600 million like war chest. So, I mean, I don't want to put like my own self on the line and be like, this thing's for sure, but we have the capital to keep this thing going. And then, I mean, we have Graviton, which like we're working with True Ventures on, who ultimately had also done a pretty large like OTC of Universe in the past. So like ultimately, I can't see a scenario. I mean, we do need to cut costs in half. Like we cut a lot of costs probably a week or two ago, and it was kind of brutal. And I mean, it sucks to have to let anyone go ever. Like if anybody enjoys that in business, they're a psychopath. But ultimately, yeah. So like I know I'm not like giving a direct answer, but it's just because like it's impossible to know. Like I could, and a lot of it depends on stuff that's completely out of our control. Like if there is a major macro downturn, yeah, I still think that we have people that are willing to work with us to get to the other side. And yeah, I don't worry about that much. But I mean, I also saw today that Three O's Capital just stiffed Voyager on a $660 million loan. Like that money came from somewhere. It came from like TradFi. It could have come from a large VC. So when you start seeing these bombs where like, you know, there's dead men walking that haven't shown up yet, like if one of the capital partners that has told us that we could rely on them or tap them, if they're insolvent, then yeah, I mean, it complicates the situation. So like ultimately, I think that what we built up to this point has, like I've said, it's like, I mean, if you're looking at it from like a large funds perspective, we've had a lot of bad luck and it's not been due to incompetence. So like I do think that there will be people that will help us get to the other side of this. But like I mean I have no idea, right? Like this could be a 10-year fucking depression in the regular markets and people don't care about crypto anymore. Well, if that's the case, then a lot more things are going to die, like other than just Universe, no matter how well those treasuries are managed. Like some of the stable coins or people who have their like Aave could blow up and you have your whole treasury in that. So it's honestly one of the reasons I've shied away from any type of treasury management service or doing any type of major yielding. Like, I mean, we could literally put it into Barnbridge and like I would think that it was safe, but what if Compound or Aave go down? So this is more of like, I don't think this is really a question about universe. It's just a general market sentiment thing. And so the hard answer is you've got to do your own research and feel good about the decisions that you make along the way. Like, I think that being in as little risk as possible is probably the best move right now from a treasury perspective. Like what I do with my own personal funds, I'd probably be having a different situation or a different conversation. But I think that when you're dealing with the treasuries funds, you kind of, I think it's your responsibility to treat it a lot like extremely conservatively or as conservatively as the community will let you. So I'm not a proponent of treasury management right now because, yeah, I think the treasury management could blow up. In terms of runway, yeah, I mean, I think that in down markets, there's downsizing. We've seen, you know, large companies all the way up to Coinbase do it. So I think that, you know, you have to watch every penny when people aren't. I mean, I've even had to do it on my own personally, right? Like I used to just write stuff off, or if I lost $1,000 here because I paid someone there, it was like no big deal. But those things start to add up when you're not bringing in the same type of capital. So like, yeah, I think that it creates ripples across the whole industry. And I think that everybody's being tighter with each dollar spent. And I think we have to as well. But as far as like, I don't know, projecting our runway, it's just impossible for me to do that. It's still crypto. Like anything could blow up at any second and you never know where it's going to come from. I don't think if you had like three arrows capital blowing up on the bingo card, like I probably wouldn't have put it on there because like I thought they managed all their own money. I didn't realize they were borrowing hundreds of millions of dollars of other people's money. So like, yeah, it's impossible to give that type of certainty. We work in an industry that's extremely nascent, it's extremely young, and it's extremely uncertain. That doesn't mean that it's not fun. That doesn't mean that we're not trying our best. But yeah, I think people need to just know that that's not a statement about universe. That's pretty much every single project that you look at across the board. Ultimately, none of them are completely safe. Like this isn't like Kellogg's where people are going to keep eating cereal every day. Like all this could go away tomorrow. And I think you have to manage the treasury that way. And I think that you need to know that about your own capital. And honestly, I would have told someone that in the bull market too. Like people used to say, I put every single dollar of my life savings into X or Y. And I was just like, I have no idea why anybody would do that. So yeah, we're being as safe as we possibly can. And I think it is what it is. But I don't think anybody can give you any type of assurances on anything right now or they're lying. They couldn't have 6 months earlier either. I mean, Wintermute said that they had 10 years of runway locked up and then they messed up that OTC trade with optimism. Well, that may not be the case anymore, right? So things happen and things can go wrong. I know that's not the straight answer everybody wanted to hear, but it's the honest one.
I mean, I think that kind of ties into the next question. JD Buffalo kind of brought up our monthly run rate again, and honestly, we don't have like a number on our monthly run rate because, like Tyler says, we've let go of some people.
No, I will at the end of the month. I still have to do like we
I'm
do
just
it.
saying, right this moment, since let Tyler get that together. It's just we've let some people go, and just let us round that number. And I think if Tyler wants to get that out to us,
I mean, we spend around. Hold on, shit. We spend It changes all the time though, because we move people on and off projects. And it was a lot higher before we were getting certain like projects done and pushed out. So this number is going to drop, but I think it was like realistically, we're going to be spending around $200,000 or $300,000 a month. I think rock bottom that we could get away with is probably 200.
Nice. There's no other questions in the Discord AMA channel. And I don't think there was any on the forum. So I guess we're out of questions unless anyone has anything else they want to say.
Yeah, I'm good.
Flammable, we'll get that security channel set up. We'll coordinate with Rain and Zach, and then we'll get a post or like an announcement out to the community for that. And then I think that's recaps kind of everything. Okay, everyone. We hope you all have a good week, and we will touch base with you guys next Wednesday when we release our project call on YouTube. So tune in there, and thank you all for coming to our AMA today.
Thanks, everyone.
Later, guys.